Moving on to our very last component, you can see that this recipe so far has been simple. We only have one more component left to go. We're just going to be making the lemon cream filling. Now this filling has a base of cashews and coconut milk because I want it to be extra creamy. And of course, we're going to be adding in some freshly squeezed lemon juice. Now, I want you to use freshly squeezed lemon juice, none of that bottled stuff from the store because you're not going to get the same flavor. We're also going to be using lemon zest to add in even more extra lemon flavor. The reason why I'm using lemon zest is because this is where all the flavor is. All of the flavor is in the rind. This is where the oils are. This is how they make essential oils. They extract the flavor from the rind or the peel of the citrus. This is why I love to use citrus zest in my recipes. Now to create the zest, you're just going to be using a citrus zester, and you have a link in the equipment download on which one I recommend. And then of course to get the lemon juice, you can just use a citrus press, which I also have a link there for you in the equipment and tool list. And then we're going to be using some light amber agave again because I want this to be a nice light bright color, which we're going to be using turmeric for just to boost that color, and it won't look orange. Wait until you see the color this produces. It actually produces a nice bright yellow color. We're going to be using some coconut oil just to help bind everything together. And the other important ingredient for this recipe is the lecithin powder, which we talked about in the coconut milk video. And then we're adding in just a tiny bit of vanilla just for some extra flavor. Now, one note I did want to make is your tart crust. You do not need to put these in the freezer or the fridge before we add the filling. You want to set these aside at room temperature. You don't want them to be cool. So now what we're going to do, we're just going to blend up all of these ingredients. Again, it's super simple. We're going to add in our liquids. Going to add in this lemon zest. Cashews, turmeric powder. Now, you are not going to taste the turmeric in this recipe. The lemon is really going to overpower it, so don't worry about that. I get that question a lot, actually. They're like, oh, if I add turmeric, aren't I going to taste it? No. So we just need a few drops of the vanilla, and then of course we're just going to add in a little bit of salt just to bring out those flavors and help balance everything. So now we're just going to blend this up until we get a nice smooth consistency. One other note I want to make is because this is a really small amount that we're using, if you have a wide base Vitamix that have the wider bases on the bottom, then you're going to need to double this recipe in order for it to blend properly. But because I have a narrow base jug, that's totally fine. It will work great in this. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so there we have our beautiful smooth filling. And wow, it smells so delicious. That lemon juice is really shining through, that lemon zest. So as you can see, the filling looks creamy and smooth. This is the consistency that you want. And now we're ready to add it into our tart crust. Now the trick is you don't want to overfill these because you don't want to ruin the shape of the crust on the outside. So we're just going to pat this on the counter. And then see if we need to add more. So I'm going to add just a tiny bit more to this one, just a touch. Maybe just a tiny bit more. Now I'm just patting these on the counter to remove the air bubbles, but also to even out the top. And as you can see, we have that beautiful bright yellow color. So now you can go ahead and set these in the freezer. I'm going to put them aside. I'm going to show you what to do with the rest of the filling and the rest of our crust here. So we're going to add the rest of our filling into our little mason jar to make a little parfait. And then we're going to have this as a snack to taste it, and while you're waiting for the tarts to set. Now the tarts won't take long, just a few hours, but remember we need to wait for the white chocolate frosting to set, so we got to wait overnight anyway. So get as much of the filling out of there as you can. Delicious. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take a spoon and you're going to test this out. First, I just need to test out the filling. It's always good, even when you're following a recipe, it's always good to taste test your recipes because you might need to make a little bit of adjustments here and there. You know, ingredients are very different all around the world. But wow, this is delicious. That lemon flavor comes straight through. I have the texture of the crust. The creaminess of that lemon cream filling. Wow. Very, very delicious. Okay, so now we have these ready. I'm going to put them in the freezer. You want to set them in the freezer because this is going to be the easiest way to get them out of the pan. They have to be frozen. And then we're going to come back in the next video tomorrow and I'm going to show you how to create a super elegant design on top of these tarts. And then we're going to dig in. So I will see you tomorrow in the next video.